Hello and welcome back to my modded Minecraft series. In this series I am traveling over 30 million blocks as I describe schizophrenia and share my experiences with the disorder. In this episode I'll be talking about positive symptoms, more specifically hallucinations, as I advance in my Minecraft world. Well, I guess this is what happens when you're 30 million blocks out. Well, it looks like someone's at the door. Oh, he's not very friendly. Oh, anyway. All right, so um, we're back. So what I have planned so far is to make, we've got this, we've got a bunch of gravel and clay and sand, so what we're going to do is make seared bricks so that we can make a smeltery, and I mined a bunch of stuff, so um, that should help me with, I don't know if mining actually will help at this point, but it's good to have some extra iron and all the extra materials available. So I added some windows to the little hut on the meteorite. But anyway, when I did mining, I think I got enough gold to. Actually, I only needed one gold, so yeah, I definitely got enough gold to make my backpack. We already have the wool, and well, let's get going. So, gonna unload all this junk from my inventory, and then I think what I'll do is smelt some gold ore into a gold ingot. And let's see, I got the wool somewhere in here, but anyway, get the gold, and yeah, all right. Now let's get this clay and gravel and sand and make some grout. But anyway, yeah. And I just realized I didn't have my sound being recorded. Well, that's a problem. So what my plan is right now is to make some seared bricks, as you may have gathered from the screen. Anyway, I'll probably record over the silent part, but hopefully not too much is missed. I didn't skip all of what I said, but anyway, let's make some grout. And oh, did you see that? I am grout. I guess that's a nod to oh, what's that movie? I haven't seen it. What's it called? Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes. But anyway, so we got our gold, and now we got our grout cooking. Actually, we should probably speed this up a little bit. Get another furnace. Okay, so don't want to cover up the window, so let's put that there, and put the grout there, and more coal there, and there we go. Okay, so we need a backpack. Oops. Okay, so 7 leather, wool in the middle, gold on top. Okay, so let's get our leather and our wool, and let's make our backpack. I love this backpack. It's probably my most favorite part about the Better Storage mod. So with this one, there's actually a hotkey for it. So let's see, you have to crouch and then punch it, and then voila, it's on your back. So let's see here. So hit B, I think. Let's look at our controls. It doesn't seem to be working. Let's see, better storage. Better storage. Where is it? Maybe it's not on here. Let's see. Well, oh, here it is. Better storage. Open backpack. B is not working. That's odd. I think this might have something to do with the configuration file. So let me tweak that, because I had this problem last time I was in better storage, and I don't actually want the backpack to take up my chest slot. So I will restart with my preferences configured. I will be right back. Alright, we are back, and I do believe the hotkey works now. For some reason the default configuration does not have that, which I find very strange. But anyway, we have that going. It's not taking up the chest piece, and it's sitting nicely on my back here. So we have the seared bricks cooking. Now I need somewhere to put the smeltery, and it needs to be relatively safe so that I can work on it without being interrupted constantly. Now I figure this building is probably already pretty ugly, so we are going to make this even uglier, since the most humble of beginnings are not always pretty. So let's get rid of this torch, and we will get rid of that, and actually we will make a ladder. Now I'm not sure how many sticks I'll need. Let's just do half a stack of wooden planks, and let's see, what's the ladder recipe? Is it this? It is. Okay, cool. I don't think I'll need that many ladders, but oh well. So I think I have more cobble than anything right now, so we will build a little platform on the side. And it looks like it's getting to be nighttime. The sun is setting. Alright. I think we'll be okay up here. So get this squared away. Actually, is that a square? No, it's not a square, but anyway. Let's see. Make a little platform going this way. Let's do 4, 5, 5 out should be good. And fill her in. Hopefully I have enough. Yeah, I think I do. Alright. And another thing we need to cook is some iron, because I need desperately some armor. So maybe we'll just make another furnace. And I think we have some coal left over. We do. And let's put it upstairs. Oh. Alright. Let's see here. Put this here. Get that going. And I think now is time, maybe a good time while I do this other stuff, to explain to you one of the categories, or one of the symptoms of one of the categories that I was explaining earlier. So yeah, I'll do that. Alright, so in the episode before this one, you learned about the 4 different categories of schizophrenic symptoms. One of those categories is positive symptoms. I'll be talking about one particular symptom that schizophrenia is probably most well known for, hallucinations, and that's part of one of the positive symptoms. So hallucinations are hearing, seeing, tasting, feeling, and smelling, all the 5 senses, things that aren't actually there. Out of all hallucinations that exist, the most prevalent symptom is hearing voices. Um, so, where was I? Oh yeah, hearing voices. So when I hear voices, I generally hear them as sort of a cacophony of whispers. That probably sounds like a contradiction, but anyway. uh, but yeah, anyway, occasionally a loud voice will shout amongst the whispers, and that will sort of jolt me back into reality. And after that loud voice does that shout, the whispers will go away for a while. Um, Hearing voices becomes most noticeable when I'm going to bed. I think this is because there aren't real noises or thoughts to distract me from the whispers that I would have normally heard throughout the day. Um, and I can usually never discern what the voices are saying. The only time I can make out what is being said is when one of the voices shouts. Although when the shouting happens, 80% of the time, maybe more, they're just yelling my name. And that can get really confusing because sometimes people are saying your name just to be like, hey, Ian, what's going on? Ian, you know. Uh, so, uh, but anyway, the most common shouting voice, I guess you could call it, is in my grandfather's voice. But in reality, my grandfather never yells. Yeah, I've never once heard him raise his voice or let alone show any sort of hostility. Uh, I've never viewed my grandfather in a negative light, and I think the fact that when I hear his voice and the other voices go away, maybe hearing such a thing calms me down or sort of relieves stress or whatever, that so it just subsides the other voices. Um, so it seems my grandparents have always been a positive part of my life, even when I'm hallucinating their presence. But I think that's part of why I'm so high functioning as a schizophrenic person is my family have always been very supportive. Um, they may not completely understand what's going on in my head, but they try to be understanding, and they really have never been a point of contention in my life. So I think if you know anyone's schizophrenic, I think the best thing you can do for them is be understanding, and or at least try to be. Sometimes they say crazy things. Sometimes they do crazy things. But there's a lot of negative stereotypes out there, and one of the stereotypes is that they're violent or they do crazy violent things, but a sampling of a schizophrenic population is just the same as a sampling of a normal population. Sometimes there's violent people and sometimes there's not. And I think when you have a violent person who is also schizophrenic, cases like that become, part of the sensationalist media because it's just such a crazy story because, well, they're crazy. uh, but yeah, so as far as hallucinations go, it's quite rare for hallucinations to be negative, or not to be negative. I mean, sort of like how someone with Tourette's syndrome only yells expletives instead of compliments or whatever. A schizophrenic person usually only hallucinates, and it has delusions as well. They're usually only unsettling things in one way or another. But outside of voices, I've had plenty of other hallucinations. Very rarely are they visual. My most common hallucinations are through smell and taste, but mostly smell. I will often smell smoke, which will feed a delusion that the house is on fire. So I often find myself systematically going through the house to make sure nothing is on fire. Sometimes it works out in my favor, but as I may have said in the previous video, another symptom of schizophrenia is inattentiveness. Sometimes I might forget to turn off the burner of the stove, and I'll find out soon after due to my paranoid delusions and the hallucination of smelling smoke. So, yeah, as far as hallucinations of taste go, I often think that people are spiking my drinks. I personally don't like the taste of alcohol. Beer is okay, but I don't drink that anymore just for a different reason, which I might get into later. But I don't drink, and I don't like to drink, and I don't like being drunk. And so sometimes I will think that people are spiking my drinks. It's completely irrational, but the thoughts are there nonetheless. So if I'm getting a coffee from a coffee shop, for example, sometimes I'll taste liquor for the first sip until I sort of collect my thoughts and rationalize them away. Generally, once I make an effort to rationalize why I'm experiencing something that's out of the ordinary, thoughts like thinking someone's spiking my drink and kind of tasting the liquor in the coffee. Once I do that rationalizing away, I can go on with my normal way of going about life. Sometimes it takes a lot of mental energy, and you can get kind of exhausted by the end of the day. But and this rationalizing away. It's not just true with hallucinations, but most of pretty much any of the symptoms I have. On the rare occasion that I do have visual hallucinations, it's usually pretty extreme. The most common visual hallucination I had when I was working at a liquor store. When you work at a liquor store, you end up dealing with a lot of unsavory people, mostly alcoholics and shoplifters, or shoplifters that are alcoholics. And dealing with these people takes a toll on you mentally. You may not notice it, but it happens. I didn't notice it, but the stress from it had manifested in an increase of psychotic symptoms, one of them being visual hallucinations of nuclear bombs being detonated in the city I was living in. And again, like many of the symptoms that I experience, I had to make a concerted effort to rationalize away these experiences. But yeah, that's just a general idea of the hallucinations I experience. Those are the ones that are at least the most memorable to me, or the ones that are most common. But I'll probably, as the series progresses, mention the other symptoms that I experience, but the other hallucinations, that I'll experience. But for the most part, those are the ones that stand out the most in one way or another. But anyway, I think what I will do is go mining and see if I can get some alumite going and make some decent tools. Alright, so I've done some mining, I've got some diamonds, I made a diamond pickaxe, and I got the smeltery going with all the stuff that I got. Got some obsidian, I also have some left over for another portal, And I did some extra iron because we will need a tool forge to be making all the parts for Tinker's Construct. But I also have the Illuminate for the special tool and all that kind of stuff, so we'll... Oh! I just realized I need to put iron on the bottom to make the block. Ugh. Oh, and now it's not filling. Ah, okay. Let's make this a block and then put it back in there. Oopsie daisy. Okay, so get that, and then put it back in there, and then iron there. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna get the iron blocks for the tool forge, but I figured, well, we are here, we finally have the diamond pickaxe. Why don't we see what's inside? Let's see, I think this is the center. Alright. So hopefully we get at least 2 different types of... Ooh. Silicon, logic, and engineering. Oh, that's right, there's 4 types, and I guess we're missing the calculation press. Ooh, this excites me. Okay. I think what we could do next is... There was the meteorite to the... what is this? Sunrise, the sun sets in the west, so it's to the east. Okay. I think I will end the episode here. If you have any questions about schizophrenia, I will probably, throughout this series, will have answered them, but if you want to leave a comment, I will try and keep up with the comments as best I can. If you are interested in knowing more about schizophrenia, or if you're just more interested in seeing what I managed to do, or how far I managed to get as far as traveling goes, go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see what happens. If you, or, you know, if you like both, I mean, anyway. Yeah, just if you subscribe, it'll encourage me to keep making more videos, so please do that if you did enjoy what you saw. Alright, thanks for watching.